Jaguar Wright is coming after every woman that ever worked with Diddy. Details that Diddy was working as an FBI informant are coming out, and everyone that helped him is trying to get away. J.Lo, Oprah, Ellen, some of the biggest names in Hollywood are fleeing, and things are only getting started. The cameras are off, the PR teams are silent, and the escape routes are being planned. Everyone from Oprah to Jennifer Lopez is scrambling after Jaguar started naming A-list figures and even dropping allegations about Diddy working with investigators. We're going to break down every name, every clip, and what could happen next.
Said every room in Diddy's mansions were wired with cameras. And he had some of the footage, he had some of the pictures, and he displayed those in the lawsuit that came out. And this was used for blackmail material. They'd bring in these people. A lot of these people were also aspiring young artists in the music industry. And then these parties were sponsored by Motown Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. This goes all the way to the top. And so you get these people in compromising situations. The drinks were laced, the videotapes were hot. And then at the end of the day, you wake up the next morning, what did I do? And then they have compromising material on you. And then they can guide your career. They could kill your career, but they got you. And it wasn't just people in the music business. As you said, there were athletes, there were celebrities, there were politicians, people from the royal family. And we were also told by the former bodyguard that Diddy was an FBI informant. Whoa. So he was a snitch.
The first person on Jaguar Wright's hit list is Beyonce, and she has been speaking out about her for ages. Jaguar says she's been warning people about Queen Bey for years, claiming Beyonce didn't just stand by while Jay-Z and Diddy ran their twisted parties. She helped them. She was with Jay-Z at all of Diddy's parties. And according to one victim, Beyonce was watching as Diddy and Jay-Z continued their abuse. Rather than report Jay-Z's crimes, Beyonce helped him and Diddy cover everything up and even benefited from the blackmail. Ever since she married Jay-Z, Beyonce has been winning Grammys left and right.
Beyonce, do you just as evil in your opinion? Has she done things you know of? Is it more Jay-Z in your mind? What is the...
I know a lot of things that shameless hat has done, but her greatest sin is vanity. And I'm going to say this about you now, baby. Everybody who knows you are dumb as a sack of hair. Truth is, if it wasn't for your singing and your dancing, you would have never been anything more than a shampoo girl in your mother's shop. You ain't got the common sense of a damn dog.
But that's not criminal.
Huh?
It's not criminal. Is there?
No. I'm going to get you there.
Oh, I see. She's just too dumb to know what she's in for.
No, she's just dumb enough to be down with whatever's going on.
Okay.
She's probably one of the most least empathetic people I've ever met in my life.
Jaguar exposed Beyonce and Jay-Z on national TV when she went on Piers Morgan to cover up their crimes. They sent a cease and desist to Piers Morgan. But even then, they never filed a defamation lawsuit. They know that if they file a lawsuit, everything that Jaguar has is going to come to light. One user wrote on X, "Funny how nobody has sent their lawyers after Jaguar, right?" And she's been talking this about a lot of these MFRs for years. No defamation lawsuits, no NDAs, no cease and desist, nothing.
What happens with exposures? You make yourself vulnerable to all kinds of attacks, seen and unseen. What happened to my friend? When he passed away, there was $250,000 on my head and $150,000 on his. But what if I had decided to go back with my head held low and said, Sean, I'm willing to play the game, and then found a way to get inside of him and move him around.
Think about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and beyond.
Another name that is connected to both Diddy and abuse is Naomi Campbell. For the last 20 years, Naomi has been working with Diddy. This is after she was already investigated for being involved with known child predators like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
You were not aware of Epstein activities. Did you know who he was?
Yes, I knew him. I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. Most people, especially this awful son, wanted me to be in jail. And I'm not saying what my behavior was correct. I think that everyone during this period of Terminal 5 madness was upset and irate. And I guess I just took it too far.
To make matters worse, back in 1998, Naomi was convicted and found guilty of beating her assistant and choking her in a fit of rage. Since then, she's been charged 10 more times in cases where she would physically the people working for her and even spit on police officers when they came to stop her. Naomi's history of abuse and violence started around the same time that she started meeting with Diddy. And just like Diddy, she never went to jail. Almost a year before the raid at Diddy's house, Naomi Campbell was back in court this time for scratching a photographer's eye. She was given a 6-month suspended prison sentence.
We all know Naomi has a temper.
Today, the 45-year-old supermodel was found guilty in a Sicilian court for assaulting a photographer. She was given a 6-month suspended prison term, so she escapes the dreaded orange.
If you thought being caught on camera assaulting a photographer was bad, wait till you find out what Demi Moore was filmed doing. A longtime friend of Diddy, Demi Moore actually sexually assaulted a 14-year-old back in 1982. A resurfaced video has drawn attention to Demi Moore kissing her former General Hospital co-star, Philip Tanzini, when he was just 14 years old. The footage reportedly filmed during Tanzini's 14th birthday party shows Moore making out with Philip multiple times and saying, "I love Philip. He's one of my most favorite people."
Moen is the greatest, and I'm putting in a buck. Thank you. Jimmy, I love you. Okay, one more time.
Why do you think everybody's come out?
I don't know. Maybe just because I love them all and I hope they all love me. We do love him. And I love them.
If you think it's for the publicity, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely, because he's one of my most favorite people.
Have you been working on the show?
Almost a month and a half.
What's your role?
I'm Luke's new love. And I'm Philip Tanzini, and I play Jeremy, and you're stealing my part. I'm sorry.
We're moving on to interview number 2 here.
Oh, okay. Because I love Philip, and he's the only one I love. Do your interview already. All right.
You got Ashton Kutcher in love with Mila Kunis on that 70s show. Then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with their daughters. I'm glad. I'm sure you're glad, like Bruce Willis.
The worst part about the Demi Moore situation is that Demi Moore was a victim herself. Back when Demi was just 15, her mother sold her to a random stranger for $500. In an interview about her book, Demi Moore opened up about how her mother used to take her to bars so guys could check her out and pay her to have their way with her. Demi Moore even said that she still remembers being and then hearing that her mother knew about it and had actually allowed it.
Now to Demi Moore, she revealed in her memoir that she was sexually assaulted at the age of 15, writing that her mother let the abuser in their home. Well, today Demi talked to Howard Stern more about this on his Sirius XM radio show.
But you say you pushed it away. You don't need, you just recently.
I pushed it away because I felt like it was my fault. Like that I felt like I had behaved in a way that was
provocative
and mature, like I really knew a lot. And I never really looked at myself as being a kid. And so I never looked at it as, I mean, I saw it as an unfortunate and, you know,
Yet he forced you into this.
I was very embarrassed by it. In all honesty, I think that the shame I carried because of the rape made me afraid to feel I could comfortably express myself sexually.
It makes me just remember the conversation that I had with her where she talked about the purpose of her writing this book was to share her story in hopes that it would empower other young women. She did talk about a lot of other things to Howard Stern. She said she auditioned for Top Gun, obviously didn't get the part.
Among the few names that have actually fled from the U.S., Ellen tops the chart. In 2024, right after Diddy's Miami mansion was raided, Ellen announced that she was leaving the country forever. Her departure lined up perfectly with Diddy's arrest, and fans couldn't help but notice that Ellen also tried to change her appearance too. Someone who had been blonde for all her career changed her hair color and moved to England to start fresh.
They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But you know, she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release
so
the Diddy
you know,
files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites.
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
You're really bad. If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Ellen DeGeneres has been seen rocking a new hair color since moving to the UK. The comedian changed her signature blonde look to brunette as she was seen enjoying a night out with friends at a pub called The Farmer's Dog. Ellen went out with her wife, Portia de Rossi, and a few friends, including the Torn singer Natalie Imbruglia. Sources told TMZ earlier this week that Ellen and Portia moved to England because of Donald Trump's re-election.
What's probably even more interesting is that now that Diddy is getting out soon, Ellen is trying to make a comeback. The same person who was allegedly ready to leave the U.S. forever when Diddy got arrested has suddenly decided to come back now that Diddy has been declared not guilty.
P. Diddy Combs' mom, Janice, waving to the crowd, his children breaking into smiles as they leave the federal courthouse in downtown Manhattan after the stunning verdict. Shouts of congratulations fill the air as they climb into a waiting van.
Congratulations, mama! One person who is trying to distance herself as far away from Diddy as possible is Oprah. Oprah's connection to Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Diddy is no secret. She was best friends with all three, and there are even pictures of Oprah kissing Harvey. As soon as Harvey was exposed, however, Oprah started pretending like she never knew him.
Running with Oprah and them, he was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support them. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
We will have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said wasn't really inappropriate.
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me what somebody said to her was so inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes. Terrible.
I just sat there typing with my 20-something-year-old.
You pretend you didn't hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. It absolutely, you're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah. So, and you've been speaking about it for years.
Yeah.